I am joined tonight by Jackie Cow. Jackie, would you like to introduce yourself, or would you like me to?
Let's see how you introduce me. I want to hear this.
So you are a game designer for Gearbox Games and an
Yes.
EAE Entertainment Arts and Engineering alumni, which is how we met at a Global Game Jam, which now I'm on the executive board of the Global Game Jam. I don't know if you knew that.
I did not know that. That's exciting news.
Yeah, there you go. So Jackie and I have known each other for a couple of years, and Jackie is a fantastic human being who very, very, very generously donated his time last minute so I could host this stream where we could have students write in their questions. And so tonight's kind of a Q&A. I'll be asking questions, Jackie will be answering them, and we'll also be talking about the design of Doom 2016 while everything else is going on. We're going to be kind of doing a playthrough where you tell me why Doom is good. Is that fair? So tell me about yourself. Tell me about Zelda.
Oh, Zelda. Zelda's my little Chavador who's asleep right now.
Aw, she's asleep.
You awake? So she's a 4-year-old rescue. Chow Chow Lab mix. Got her about a year and a half ago.
I thought she was tiny.
She's tiny. Here, I'll try to pick her up. Hold on.
So, oh, wow, she's a big girl. For some reason, I thought she was like a Pomeranian.
Oh no, she's big. She's like 30 pounds.
Dang. Zelda. Oh, she's such a good girl. Oh, what a nice girl. Oh, Zelda, what a sweet girl.
Alright, I'm gonna let her go back to sleep.
Okay. Tell me a little bit about, you worked for BioWare. I came visit you at BioWare before you went to Gearbox. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I want to just give you my background on my career path. I was at the EA program from 2015 to 2017, I think, cohort 5. While I was there during the summer of first year, I was working as a game designer at React Games, a now defunct local Salt Lake City studio. Worked there for a year. Started off as an internship. They converted me to I guess employee, non-full-time because I was still in school. And then did a year of that, moved on to EA Salt Lake, did about half a year of that. That studio closed down. I moved on to EA here in Austin to work at BioWare. Was there for 3 years. Worked on Star Wars Old Republic. And then recently, as of like 3 weeks ago, I started working at Gearbox.
You selected this game, so my first question for you, Jackie, is why Doom? I mean, why not Doom, but also why Doom?
It's one of those games that it's, from a purely design standpoint, it like stood out to me so much. Like as I was playing, usually I try to sit down and play a game and enjoy it without analyzing it and thinking about, oh, how did they do this? How did they do that? I try to like play through as a consumer first and then think about it in the end. In Doom, it just like stood out to me so much. I was like, man, this design is genius while playing through it. I couldn't get that thought out of my head.
And like from the get-go?
Yeah.
So am I good to start? Are you gonna?
Yeah.
So
go for it.
what I'll do is so chat. You can see I have this lovely list of questions that my introduction to game design students at EAE have prepared for Jackie, and some really, really good questions on here. Questions that I would never, ever, ever think to ask someone working in games that are just so poignant, that are amazing. So I'm guessing if I start, there's going to be a cutscene. So I don't want to ask a question just yet because I'm presuming I'm going to get a cutscene. But feel free, Jackie, to narrate us through, walk us through whatever's going on, and then when there's a break, I'll pull out one of these questions if you're good with that.
Yeah, it's not a very long cutscene, but it's a very cool one, that's for sure.
Oh no, the first thing we get is the difficulty setting. I'm too young to die, hurt me plenty, or ultra violence. So my policy, and I'd love to hear your take on this, Jackie, when I play through a game, I tend to go for the middle ground because I presume that that's what that's like the middle of the road, that's what the developers designed for and then made it extra hard or extra easy based off of that. Which level do you think I should play at?
I would do the middle ground. Like, you are correct. Majority of players do play at that middle level. So
there's an ultra nightmare? Good
yeah,
God.
that's for like maybe 5% of the. This is just a wild guess, but like probably like 5% of the player population.
Okay, cutscene time.
With
I talk over cutscenes, which maybe upsets people, but it's kind of my MO.
Rip and tear until it is done.
Rip and tear! Oh, poop. I need to play now, huh? Oh, no. Hey, Doom guys. Little skellies, that doesn't count.
I told you it was short.
Okay, so like right off the bat, yeah, you weren't kidding. That was the shortest cutscene I've ever experienced,
Yep.
and I had to. Oh, this looks like my belly dance room. With all the candles. It's nice.
Are you sure you're belly dancing and not summoning demons?
Yeah. Come see, come saw. Okay. I hope no one gets motion sick. This already feels like a motion sickness machine for me. So, what as a designer do you like about that opening scene?
The fact that they're tossing you right in the action, and it's setting up this narrative of, the technology plus demonic ritual stuff. It's the story in Doom for narrative is a narrative for it is kind of off the walls, and you go along for the ride, right?
I already love this. This is already super good.
You're in this scientific complex, but you're also in this ritual sarcophagus that you just came out of. You're like, oh, this is some weird shit. All right, gonna go with this.
Oh, it is a ritual. This is very Stargate. You're right. I didn't even notice that.
You see the runes. You can see on the ground there's some pentagrams and other blood sigils.
Oh, but that's just my dance room, so I didn't quite notice that. Yeah. Oh, this is cool. This is super cool. Why did I wait so long to play this game? This is everything I like. Ella asked earlier if this counts as a horror game because I'm terrified of horror games. So that's that's a fun thing. And I'm a little bit scared, Jackie. You would?
I would not call it a horror game.
Okay, good.
In fact, one of the main goals of this game is to really express to you that all the demons are afraid of you. Hence, this cutscene is like you're being worshipped by humans.
Squishy meat bags.
Yeah.
Bow before me. Ooh,
but a
do I
big
get
thing of
mixed?
the game is that you are the Doomslayer. The demons are terrified of you. There's a lot of good narrative design, and storytelling throughout the game to help kind of portray and convey that.
This is literally everything I like in life, and
I'm surprised I'm playing. This is right up your alley.
I feel very dumb for not playing this sooner. Thank you so much for getting me to play this game. It is awesome. Okay, so I'm going to start you off with a softball question that is also extremely important because the new Doom is coming out super soon, super quick. So what do you think of all the crossover memes between Doom and Animal Crossing since both have the same launch date?
They are hilarious and amazing. I was just at a party last weekend where there was some id people there, just because I'm up in Dallas now, and they were saying they all love it. It's like, you see how ridiculous that was? That your pseudo armor's in this candle-filled, also sarcophagus with a bunch of tools around it.
Well, I'm more noticing the blood.
Oh, I mean, yeah, there's demons everywhere. Demonic invasion in process is a phrase you'll see a lot.
Press F. Glory kills. Ooh, this is a lot of text though. Okay, cause them to stagger. Oh, goodness gracious. Okay. Oh.
Press F again. Yep. So that is one of the most important parts of Doom's design.
What, the UI or the
Glory
super
kills.
satisfying kill? Yeah, it's pretty good. But here's what I want more. I don't really want these little nuggets of zombie flesh. I don't really want them to come that much closer to me. I'd rather get the glory kill on a snipey snipe headshot.
They're trying to encourage in your face game. They call it push forward gameplay. What it is trying to get you to run forward always, right? Because in a lot of shooters, you run back, you run away from enemies, you run and take cover. In Doom, they're trying to make you feel like you're a badass. You're taking the fight to them. They should run from you. Hence this push forward incentive.
Oh, Jackie, though. Have you watched me play games? Oh, sweet Jackie. I don't. That's the antithesis of how I play games. I'm usually.
Maybe this game will change. Well, this game they want you to play, this way. So maybe they'll succeed and make you run forward. Once you get to harder enemies, because glory kills give you health and ammo, you want to do that pretty often.
So one of the things I noticed is that when I push right mouse, I don't get. Oh no, I'm taking damage. I'm taking a lot of damage.
Yeah.
I don't get a zoom in option for sniping capabilities. So I just ripped off someone's arm and beat them with it. Oh man, I might die because I'm laughing so hard.
Now you kill things, they drop health. You'd be good. Yeah,
Wow, okay.
There's no aiming down sights because Doom historically didn't have that, and 2, it slows the game down, and they want you to be fast in your face.
Okay, let's do another while I have a brief respite, as it were. Let's do another question. We're gonna warm up, so we're gonna do. These are all questions for my students. Most anticipated game of 2020 for you personally, in terms of design.
In terms of design.
Yeah. So do you appreciate? One of the things I try and get my students to do. This is a long-winded way of me trying to say. To shoehorn my own prerogative in here. I try and get my students to play a variety of games because I think you can learn a lot and appreciate the design of anything. Like if you don't like sports games, cool, but you can learn a lot from playing sports games. So in terms of design, your most anticipated game of 2020, this gun is like useless. I just have to go up there and punch him, huh?
It's a shotgun, you gotta get close. Shotgun's my favorite gun in the game, FYI.
Oops. That was very satisfying. Okay, so do you, your most anticipated game, is it because of design? Nasty. Is it the same genre that you would choose to play for fun, or is it purely out of professional interest, or do the two overlap? Do you tend to find that as a professional game designer, you tend to like games that are well designed and you appreciate them like a connoisseur would appreciate nice food, or are you more interested in the junk food in your downtime and the fine gourmet cooking professionally?
Probably a little bit of both. It's one thing I'm really good at, and I know some people have trouble with this, but I'm really good at flicking that professional switch off. Like I get home from work, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna approach this as a consumer now, like I was saying earlier. So I'm pretty good at just like not thinking like a designer when I'm playing games, purely to enjoy it.
That was nasty.
And while I'm playing, instead of analyzing stuff, I'm just playing the game, enjoying it, thinking about the emotions I'm having while during it. Once I finish the game, I think about, oh, okay, these games gave me these emotions, gave me these feelings. How did they do so? Then I analyze it after I play.
That's pretty sick. I love it. So what's your most looked forward to game? Oh, dude, come on. Of 2020.
Let me look up a list of games coming out in 2020.
So Animal Crossing and Doom.
Animal Crossing, Doom.
In that order.
Cyberpunk, Final Fantasy. Those are the ones I know of.
Oh, right. Final Fantasy. The remake.
Yep.
Or is there another one that I don't know about?
What else is coming out? Well, The Avengers is coming out. Rainbow Six Quarantine, supposedly. Dying Light 2.
So are you just listing games, or are these what? Oh, I could have made explosions this whole time. Are you just listing games, or those ones that you're looking forward to?
Those are ones I'm looking forward to.
Oh, nice, good. That's a lot of games. It's gonna be a good year for games.
I think the one I'm most looking forward to is probably Doom Eternal, just to see, like, because I love Doom so much, and they've done so many cool things with it.
I see why. You made a convert of me very, very rapidly. But there's a little gubbin up there that I kind of want to get, and I don't know how to get it. Oop.
You can mantle. Just run up to the edge. You'll climb the edge if you just run up to it and jump.
No, really?
Yeah.
Oh, sick. Okay, that wasn't taught to me though. So from a UX standpoint, I'm gonna complain.
I think was there not one? I thought there was.
Oh, or I just ignored it because I'm having a good time. That's the other problem. All right, so this is extremely rewarding. This is, to me, like the hamburgers and milkshakes and chocolate cake of gaming. This is giving me everything I want, and I feel like I look really cool doing it without having any kind of skill or knowledge, which I'm very excited about.
So I think one of the main design goals is to make you feel like a badass. You're this thing that demons fear and cower over. And
so Ella mentioned that Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 is coming out in 2020, and that is probably, so Animal Crossing, Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines for me.
I think for me it's Doom. If Rainbow Six Quarantine is indeed coming out this year, that's my number 2, because I love Rainbow Six. And number 3 would probably be Cyberpunk, because I just like Cyberpunk stuff.
Hey chat, can we take a minute to appreciate, number 1, this is killer, and number 2, I actually managed to get to the title scene in less than an hour. That never happens. Okay, so here we're gonna start getting into some meteor questions, if you like. Not meteor as in the astrological phenomenon, but meteor as in questions with more bite. So what does your average day look like? So as a game designer and just as Jackie, like what's the average Tuesday, because we're playing this on a Tuesday, what's that look like for you? What do you do? Not necessarily what you're working on, but I mean, yes, also work, but...
So usually I'll just wake up and just head, after morning routine and stuff, getting ready, head straight to the office. I do the whole intermittent fasting thing, so I don't eat breakfast.
You're doing intermittent fasting as well? It's so trendy.
Yeah. I've been doing it for a while. I've never been one to eat breakfast anyway, so it's like, oh, this is pretty easy for me.
Do you feel better?
Yeah.
Well, that's all that matters, right?
Yeah. Jose will tell you this too, because he's like big into the whole nutrition thing, but like us as people, we do eat too much food, period, in the US.
Okay.
So it's a good way. In the US.
Okay.
So it's a good way to cut down.
So I didn't come here to get judged, Jackie.
Don't run.
Oh no, I'm on fire. Okay, well, the fire should have been a no-no for me, but I still wanted to get up there. So you don't eat breakfast. You do your morning routine and go to work.
Yep. In the morning, it's usually check emails, just check, look through my task list, see what's there. At BioWare, we did daily stand-up meetings.
How long are your stand-ups? Were your stand-ups on average?
They were like 5-10 minutes.
So good.
I'm
short.
I'm not a fan of doing them every day.
You do them every day?
They did them every day at BioWare. I didn't go to them every day. Like, the updates would be the same every day. It's like maybe twice a week.
At least they were only 5 minutes though.
Yeah.
I've heard of like 20-minute stand-ups, and then, at which point it's a sit-down. Like, let's be honest.
Yeah. But I'm personally of the philosophy that daily stand-ups is inefficient.
Yeah.
Unless you're working in a fast-paced development, like mobile stuff, where things are changing every day, or AAA console stuff.
Have you worked on mobile?
Yeah, when I was in Salt Lake, we were working on mobile stuff.
Ah, cool.
And in that case, daily stand-ups was useful because we were on such a accelerated schedule. But yeah, AAA daily stand-ups I didn't think was efficient. So yeah,
and is that like first thing? Or is that like at the beginning of core hours? Do you get in before core hours? Do you like the quiet tranquility?
No, I enjoy the quiet tranquility at the end of the day. I'm not a morning person, so...
So what time do you stroll in?
Like 10.
Oh, that's still morning though.
I guess so. I'm still a zombie until like 10:30. I get my morning tea.
Okay, what kind of tea though? This is very important.
Earl Grey or...
Earl Grey
jasmine.
hot?
Yeah.
Nice.
Or jasmine, depending on what kind of day.
I am okay. Some of chat is gonna die a little inside when I say this, but lapsang souchong with milk. I actually really like it with milk.
With milk, really?
Yeah, because it tastes like a smoky Norwegian cheese, which is, yeah. Okay. Anyway. Okay. So you have your tea. You get into work. You do stand up.
Yep. And afterwards. I check my task list, whether it be in Handsoft or Jira. It differed depending where I was. To see what I need to do for the day, and then just basically get to work. Start working on things. Get up and talk to I like getting up and talking to people face to face versus like chatting on Slack. So I'm roaming the office a lot, talking to people that need to. As a designer, you have to be talking constantly to people, right? Like you're talking to your VFX artists on VFX requests, talking to your animators, talking to your environment artists. Just keeping them informed of what it is that is the design goal. That way, everyone's under the same. Then we go eat lunch, come back, do more work. I'm most productive towards the end of the day when everyone's going home.
So this is a thing, right? This is such a thing. But I like to get in before people because it's quiet. So I'm typically in at 6:30-ish a.m. Between 6:30 and 7 a.m. And but I know other people that'll stay late because it's just you can get so much more done.
Yeah.
Okay, this dude is glowing. Oh, okay. Yeah, give me that ID badge. So, this is kind of a follow-up question, but I think that this is one of the ones that's super interesting that would never have occurred to me to ask, but it's such a good question. How much of your time is spent working on games versus how much time do you spend in meetings or answering emails or doing administrative stuff? I love this question so much.
So I'm not a lead. So actually, not much of it is spent in meetings or doing, administrative stuff. At the most, I have like 2-3 meetings a week, and maybe they're an hour long each.
So I just realized that this little window in the rock is meant to lead you to the key card, which I didn't realize that until after I'd gotten the key card. But hey, I got the key card, so
that window could have been a little bigger, just to make it a little more apparent.
But now I know what to look out for, right? So now I'm going to be looking for windows.
Yeah, the level design in this game is also amazing. I don't talk about the combat a lot, but
oh, headshot. Ooh, there's a nice silencer kind of effect on here too. I don't think that's a very generous headshot they just gave me, but again, this game makes you feel epic, huh? Ooh, so that's a one-shotter, huh? I feel like I just hit him in the chest. Oh. Okay, this is very cool. And I feel like this little plateau here is explicitly designed for me to do what I just did. Like this is, they've given me not a lot of shotgun ammo. I'm not out, but I'm, this has infinite, so I'm gonna muck around with this and not the shotgun because I have finite ammo with that.
Yeah, the level design in this game is also amazing. It's set up perfectly for you to test different things in the beginning. Later on, to give you the play space to use all the skills and weapons you've acquired.
There's like I can see what this level would look like white boxed, and I can see also like how much of a awesome, like the sand blowing is just such a nice touch that it complements it really well, I think. It makes it feel much more dynamic. Okay. So you're lucky. You don't have to do a whole lot of administrative chores, which is super rad.
That's left to the leads and stuff. So like for people in the games thinking that the leads get to make a lot of creative decisions, that is not the case. They're too busy handling administrative stuff. A lot of the smaller decisions are done by I don't want to call us grunts, but us in the trenches, right? The ones that are not spending our time handling administrative and organizational stuff. And usually they just give you an overarching vision, and they trust us to go with it and make decisions according to that.
So one of the things that I'm I would like to hear your perspective on as I play through is it feels a little fighting game-y to me, in that I'm tempted to spam F, particularly, not all the time, but when I get into a situation where I have like 4 baddies around me, I'm really tempted to just spam that F key. And this seems cheap to me, and I don't like doing it, and it feels bad, and I kind of wonder, what's your take on that?
That'll change pretty soon.
Okay.
You'll have some beefy boys that you can't do that with.
That's awesome.
Yeah, you'll have to hit them with quite a few shots before they get to the glowing execution.
Oh, I fell down. Okay, that sucks. Okay, so shotgun's your favorite weapon, though. Speaking of favorites, let's get into another question. This goes back to your lunch. Do you, what's your favorite food? This was a legitimate question that students asked, and I was like, actually, I'm kind of curious. What is your favorite food? I like talking about food.
Ramen.
But what kind, though? Because I've had some bomb vegan ramen.
I like miso ramen, spicy miso ramen. Mm-hmm. Or I like sukumens, like the dipping ramens.
I just learned, like 2 days ago, that the fish cake with the pink spiral.
Naruto's?
Is that what the anime is named after?
Yeah, that's what a Naruto is.
That was like a life-changing discovery for me. I had no idea what they were called, and let alone that there's an anime. But it's named after like a strait. It's named after a strait in between some islands in Japan. Okay,
is there a whirlpool there? There better be a whirlpool or something.
Yeah, it's like a whirlpool, and that's why.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know why it's pink. For some reason, I always assumed it was a radish. I don't know. Anyway, Okay, so ramen, good answer. This is the best question ever, and if you need to take time to think, we can always circle back to it. But what is a slogan that game designers should always stick to? Like, what's a game designer mantra?
It should be your decisions and your designs should always be to solve a problem or achieve a goal. There's always be a design goal or problem in mind that you're trying to do or solve when you're doing things. Game designer, you should never do things just because it's cool.
Never do things just because it's cool. I feel like that's really good life advice, though.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair.
Can I jump? I feel like... Okay, are these the beefy boys?
They're beefier.
Yeah. Like I can't just one-shot them, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I feel like the difficulty is ramping a bit.
Yep.
What do you like about the... Okay, so I'm low health. Does health regen over time, or is it only through pickups?
Pickups and the executions.
Ooh. Okay.
So go shotgun someone and then execute them, and you'll get some health.
Oh no!
You died.
Okay, let's feel what death is like, though. Exit to desktop. Nice. They give me that option because in case I rage quit. That's cruel. That's ice cold. Was going into game design always your career goal? Because one of the things that we find in industry, or at least as an educator I find, is I get students in who think they want to do this or they think they want to do that, and then through EAE they decide, oof, no, not for me, which is a very valuable lesson, right? So was your goal always game design, or did you want to do something else and then I don't want to make it sound like, oh, you just do game, right? Doing game design is freaking cool. Love it. But was that always the end goal?
No, it was not actually. So I got into the EE program as a producer. My bachelor's degree is in business management.
Oh, cool.
So I wanted to do project management, organizational stuff. So yeah, I came to EE as producer, and during the first semester, during rapid prototyping, I was doing mostly producer stuff. And I enjoyed it, I liked it. But I took a bunch of design electives, like max paper prototyping class.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. And even the first semester of, what do you call?
So good.
Capstone?
Oh, yeah.
I guess thesis. That's what you call it, thesis. Yeah, first semester of thesis, I was doing some more design things. And
Projects.
Projects, yeah. I was like, oh, I enjoy this design stuff. I like problem solving. I like, design thinking. And I went down that road instead, just because I turned out I enjoyed it more than project management.
So this is pretty interesting because there were some questions about working with producers, and I like that you started off as a producer. What makes for a good producer? Because you've seen both sides of the coin, right? You've seen it as a producer. Come on, I need help. You've seen life as a producer, but you probably also had producers manage you in your work. So what are good traits for a producer to have?
All right, good producer will not try to. I've seen this both professionally and in the EA program, where producers try to also be the lead designer or like lead creative. Like the producers don't handle the creative stuff. They give feedback, and I've valued all the feedback from my producers, just because they try to make themselves knowledgeable in all aspects of our game. But producers are there to enable the rest of the team to do their jobs well. If you're gonna run around towards them, I would use a shotgun.
Okay. I actually haven't noticed the user interface, for example, because it's been so intuitive, but it is very teal and orange because those are high contrast colors. So you have the orangish red sand on the ground, and then you have the teal HUD over the top. And okay, so on the left, let's talk about the UI. So the thing I noticed most was the reticle in the center of the screen. And then in the bottom, there's a whole bunch of pickups here that I missed. In the bottom left, there's the health bar, and then on the bottom right is my ammo bar, and I noticed the ammo bar before the health bar, actually.
Once you start playing at once you get, in the zone for this game and get used to it, you worry a lot less about your health bar and way more about your ammo bar.
Oh, nice. Okay. I'm trying to get used to. So I feel like I kind of got into the flow of those one shots, and so I'm trying to get back into the. So now I feel like the flow is less about just going up and pushing F, and more about firing off a couple quick rapid fires. The shotgun's not doing a whole lot for me, to be honest. I feel like it's slow and inefficient.
Yeah, get close to them, fire one shot, and then execute them.
I feel like this is more successful for me, but I think this is the difference between playing like a Watson versus a Scout, right? Like I'm comparing Overwatch and Team Fortress 2, but bear with me.
I mean, this game provides you with a bunch of different ways to play too. You'll get more weapons that might suit you more.
Woohoo! Okay. Oh yeah, they totally do drop tons of health. Okay, the crunching. Whoever did the Foley for this is sick. So good. Okay. Oh, did my health just go off the ledge? Probably. That's fine.
No, you picked it up. You got a +5 above your +5.
So I think there were some narrative beats that I missed.
Probably.
Does the narrative matter?
I think it's cool. It's silly, and it's off the walls, and I think it's totally meant to be.
Are these are demons then that I'm killing?
Yes.
Ah!
There's a demonic invasion from hell. I think that's what they were telling you, and you have to go find. I don't know if you're going to close a portal or something. You're going to close something. Oh, radio tower. I think you're trying to reestablish like comm links.
Eternal has shown off that we have multiple UI color schemes for players to pick from, in addition to our specifically designed colorblind-friendly color schemes. Zelly, that's rad. I love that there's colorblind options, and then that there's so much player choice. I actually really, really, really like the current color scheme. I think it's pretty slick. I like my UI design philosophy is KISS. Keep it simple, stupid. Right. Oh, come on! Boom! Give me help, give me help, give me help, give me lots of help. Where are you? Ah! Oh man, I'm so not a melee class. Oh, that was nasty. I think the thing that's impressing me most right now, and this probably says a lot about me as a person, is just how creative the KOs are. It's very satisfying.
They're all contextual, right? Depending on whether you're next to a wall or you're next to like. Pretty cool.
What was the other game? Did Wolfenstein do this? That's not a
I have not played Wolfenstein yet, so I.
You've not?
No, I got a lot of backlog as well, like most gamers.
Yeah. For sure. So.
I'm just getting the boss up into right now.
Wolfenstein was great for me because I tried to teach myself. As a PC gamer that did mostly first-person shooters through PC, I can't with consoles, and so I tried. I was like, no, I'm going to teach myself, and this is offline, so this will be fine. I'll just get to learn. Ooh, hey guy. And then it was not. I couldn't even get past like the tutorial with the Xbox controller. It was the saddest thing in the entire world. Mouse and keyboard for the win. Okay, so is this a round face? I feel like they keep spawning, or do I need to move?
No. Once you clear enough enemies, the music will stop.
Okay, so there's like a Devil May Cry thing going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. The music stopped. Of course, you're right. Okay. Okay. So, what's a trait do you look for in a good producer? Just that they let creative people create?
Yeah, they're there to enable and set everyone else up for success. So I'll give you an example. For our like lead producers when I was working on BioWare, their job was to figure out what the creative vision was from the creative director, from the art director. Figure out what the tech limitations were from the tech director, and those directors consult their teams about it and stuff. Figure those things out from that, and the lead producer will then combine that vision and hold the rest of the team, accountable to that vision. So they hold the team accountable to the goals that the team themselves set. They also enable the team to work without worry and stuff.
So is it the flow and pacing of this game? Is it like this where you have this like wave after wave of enemy?
Yeah.
Ah, Taco Bear. Thank you for the sub. Appreciate you. 3-month streak. Doom without the gloom. Whoop whoop. So I feel like we're in a period of respite for the game. Like we had this heavy wave of enemies, and now we're just kind of chilling. Is that kind of the gameplay flow?
Yeah, it's like intense moments, and then some respite, some exploration. Even there's little hidden things you can get if you're like an achievement hunter.
What should I be getting?
You have full grenades already.
Is there anything in particular that I'm skipping over that I should be getting?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay. This level layout and some of the kind of the angles of the floor and also the enclosed space and the airlock doors reminds me a lot of Wolfenstein. And I wonder if that's something unique about their proprietary. I presume they're using a proprietary engine, and I think that some engines lend themselves better to designing like corridory type spaces. Or if like, I don't know, some people do level mock-ups in Maya, right? And then just pop them in.
I mean,
Do you do any level design work?
Okay. Yeah, my first job was a level designer.
No way! Get out of here.
Yep, I was a level designer, and then at BioWare I got hired as a level designer, and I made the transition in enemy design. And now I'm an enemy designer.
And now you're a what designer?
Enemy design.
Oh, nice.
So enemy NPCs, bosses. But yeah, I was originally a level designer, and I still enjoy level design.
Oh, that's really cool. All right,
And if
so
I make bosses, I have to make the levels myself too.
Oh, that's incredible. So what do you use? What if you're just doing a quick mock-up? Like, what's your go-to when you're brainstorming? Do you use pen and paper? Do you do some paper prototyping, or do you just work in engine, or do you?
Oh, pen and paper for sure.
Really?
Yeah,
That's
I'm all
awesome.
about drawing
I can't wait to tell
2D
Matt.
map first. Definitely pen and paper to start off, to like just to see like what the layout would be, how the flow would look like before committing to more time-consuming 3D.
Yeah. So how much? I guess. Okay. So you do your brainstorming on pen and paper, and then when you go to implement it, is there? I don't know how I want to phrase this. Is there a tool, not necessarily an engine? Do you just go straight and just work an engine, or do you use a tool or something else first? Do you do stuff in Maya, or do you just go straight in and?
Yeah, we go straight in engine.
Yeah.
And usually each project for larger like AAA games, each project would have their own set of tools within the engine. Like we use Hero Blade over at BioWare for Star Wars. Not our engine. That's a licensed engine that Elder Scrolls Online also uses.
Oh, cool.
But we had our own set of tools that we custom made for our thing. And at Gearbox we use Unreal 4, but we have our own set of tools that I don't think other companies use.
Did you say Unreal?
Yeah, Unreal 4.
Oh yeah, Unreal's so great. I love Unreal.
So there's Unreal tools that come with it, plus stuff that we've added to it.
So what skills would novice designers be lacking that you can? What kind of knowledge can you impart to my baby game design students as a grown-up game designer?
I think design process is having like a clear-cut process for doing design.
In what sense? So like in the sense that you do mock-ups in 2D and then move into 3D.
Yeah, so let's say if we're doing level design, right? Like writing down specifically, hey, what are the goals of this? You know, in 3 or 4 bullet points or whatever. What are you trying to achieve with this level? And then having a set process on how to progress from that to end, instead of winging it and trying to solve via just iteration. Like iteration is part of the process, but it should be more planned out.
Yeah, goal-oriented design for sure.
And then
how often do you use design documents?
Pretty often. Like in the beginning, before you're iterating, you want to plan everything out via documents, and while you're iterating, you can look back at the documents. Another thing that novice designers should try to do is, in order to solve the problem, you need to be able to identify the problem. So having this identifying problems is an important skill to have.
How do you go about identifying problems? Is it just good logical, rational thinking skills, or?
Yeah. So like people can point out, hey, this thing, X thing is not fun. And then so you start trying to break down why is this not fun, what specifically is not, not fun, or X thing's not working. Break it down into what parts of it are not working.
Jackie, can I ask a very self-serving question?
Sure.
And I think you know what I want the answer to be.
Okay.
What's the role of playtesting in all of this? And
role
why
of
is it
playtesting?
vital?
The role of playtesting is to help you identify those problems.
So do you work with a user research team directly, or do you run like internal playtests yourself? If you want a quick gut check, do you just pull your buddy who's sitting next to you to play the game, or do you give a build to the user research team and kind of wait for them to feed back to you?
So where I was working before, we didn't have a user research team on hand. So we would schedule a playtest, like plan playtest. Hey, this is what we're playtesting specifically. These are the things we want for you to do. And then we're not gonna say anything. We're just gonna watch them play through, take down notes, gather their feedback, and there's like a certain science behind interpreting feedback as well. You as a user researcher know that quite well.
So PC Gamer called me a user researcher. Did you see that on Facebook?
Yes, I saw that with that wonderful picture.
So yes, I was a user researcher now.
Yep.
Good answer, Jackie. I'm super happy with your answer.
The one big thing about working with user research is to not jump to conclusions. Like I said, carefully identify feedback, but don't jump to conclusions. So many bad things have happened in games I've worked on because some higher up saw something instantly, like, oh, we gotta do this, but no, wait, we need to carefully look at the data and figure out if that actually is the problem. So yes.
Amen.
Take time. Don't rush into things.
Amen, brother. Don't throw the baby out with the bathwater.
Yeah. And if your boss decides to rush into things and you can't do anything about it, well,
it is what it is, right?
Yeah. Can't win every battle. That's another thing that can learn. You just gotta make the most of it.
Am I using the shotgun now? I am, aren't I?
Yeah. See, you're using it right. Pop them once and then execute them. Yeah.
Okay,
there you go.
this is kind of fun.
It's like a rhythm game.
Yeah. Okay, I should never have doubted you, Jackie. This is pretty good. Okay, are you ready for another question?
Yeah.
Okay, as soon as I can read. I never learned to read. Okay, this one's so good too. What would you recommend budding designers do to exercise their creativity and design skills on a regular basis? It's like, what kind of exercises, exercise is probably too strong a word, but what kind of exercises would you recommend?
Depends what kind of designer you want to be.
Good answer.
But like if you're being a level designer, pick like an engine or something of that sort.
It's a weird blood pressure cuff.
The future. But yeah, like if you want to be a level designer, pick a game that you know very well. That way you know exactly like what kind of goals and stuff are in that game, what kind of feelings you want from that game. And just design maps if they have a map tool like StarCraft or Portal or what else did I do back in the day?
So playing lots of games, studying them, playing them critically.
Yeah. Yep.
Solid advice.
If you want to be like an enemy designer, that's a little harder to do in tools, but design some on paper enemies, like DM some tabletop RPGs, design some paper enemies for that. But outside of games.
Are you a dungeon master?
Am I?
Yeah.
I've done it a few times. I prefer playing.
For sure.
But yeah, I've DM'd a few times. It's fun. I'd rather experience someone else's story than... Because I spent all day at work making experiences for you already.
For sure.
This is when you need the shotgun.
Okay. Come on, switch. Ah, crap. Oh, they were behind me. I never stood a chance.
Actually, I have one behind me. I'll show you my paper present if you can go get.
is a game changer. Oh, you have a paper prototyping little kit. Look at you, so organized.
Yeah. So in this you have.
Oh, this feels very good to use already.
I have multiple kits actually. I don't know where the rest went. So pads, markers, little tokens, counters, currency. My bag of dice is somewhere else. I should have playing cards in here too. I don't know where it went. But yeah, all this stuff. It's a little kit of like pieces you can use to quickly prototype some board games. And I have to roll book down first to do that. That's your mechanics.
Okay, so I need you to explain something to me. I just had a very good, happy, fun time using the chainsaw, and then the chainsaw went bye-bye, and I don't know what I did to make it go bye-bye.
Chainsaw uses fuel. Fuel is a consumable. You have a certain number of charges of fuel.
That was so good. That was really fun. I only want to use the chainsaw from now on. Huh. Okay, another question. Okay, so you worked on quest design in the past, right?
Yeah, I've done quest design.
So the bugbear of any quest designer is creativity, IMHO. I say that as not a quest designer. When WoW Classic came out, there were quite a few really cool talks about designing like the collect things quest that then became the almost like poster child for repetitive quest design. What are your thoughts and feelings on that? How repetitive quest design in some regards is good design, right? Because it allows for predictability and it allows you to make the most of communicating with your player. You don't have to teach them as many new things. But then it's often the thing that players complain most about, particularly in an MMO or in RPGs. So what's good repetitive quest design? Is it a necessary evil? I guess just generally, what are your thoughts about it? And I'm going to stop talking with my hands so I can play the game and not die.
So repetitive quest design, I think if the player has achieved enough or unlocked enough abilities, powers, weapons, or whatnot, things to play with, then repetitive quest design is a good place for them to practice those skills. Be creative with using those abilities and stuff. But once they've gotten far enough with that, like you've given them 20 hours of pretty similar quests to mess around with their kit and figure out builds or abilities and have fun with the toys you gave them. Once they've mastered it, then you need to start presenting different, harder challenges for them to show off their mastery. Like you give them repetitive quests for them to hone their mastery. Once they're got to the point of mastery, you give them some new, harder things to show off that mastery.
So well put. I love the way you put that. So I just came across a can of... Oh, no. I meant to crouch, so I hit control for crouch, and in this game it's a grenade. Yeah. I saw gasoline.
I think it's C? It might be C? I don't know what it is.
Oh, you genius. Can I go down here? Okay. No, let's keep going. Love your take on repetitive quest design. So for
a lot of MMOs, a lot of them do tend to overdo it because after working on MMO before, it is the fastest thing to do.
Sure.
Quests are complex and take a lot of time. Sometimes the amount of time you spend working on complex stuff takes away from time you can make some, moderately varied stuff.
What are the most important elements of a quest design? So not necessarily repetitive, just in general. When you're going to build a quest together for an MMO, what are the most important components that make that quest fun? What's the recipe for a fun quest?
Well, this is assuming that
super hard
question. You have the story already. That's given to you by your writers. It's how to tell a story. Oh, will that kill you? That will kill you.
Cool. It's fine. It's all good. It's awesome. Casper says, awesome questions. These are so good questions, right?
But during the quest, you should include elements that help build the world that you're in. This is more of an MMO standpoint, but during the quest, introduce characters that help flesh out the world, show you different places that help build that world up for you. Because MMO, it's all about knowing you're in this big world and trying to understand it. And even single player RPGs.
Story.
Yeah.
So when you're designing, I did it again. When you're designing a quest, do you ever consider how spectacularly a player can fail? Do you ever like write in, this is the fail state and this is what's going to happen and it's going to be very, very funny when the player fails?
When there is time, yes, but that stuff tends to get, we'll say expensive in terms of effort and time to make. Just because usually the tools, most quests don't end spectacularly, and they don't have end states like that, so
Right.
it's a little tougher to do that.
God, he did it again.
You can remap your controls if it's something you're used to.
What are you trying to say? I'm really bad at this? Uh-oh. Okay, I hear demons, but I also hear my sweet pupper dog. Ah! It happened again! Will I ever learn? How do you defeat this level boss? We're talking about quest design. So what's the most convoluted quest you've ever designed?
Alright, so in Star Wars Old Republic, we had an open world map called Osis. And for people who are familiar with Star Wars lore, there's like a whole old, I think it was Tales of the Jedi comic, but the old Republic, and there's a character named Udbanar who turned into a tree. That's the lore. And we wanted to showcase him, that he's an ancient Jedi master that turned into a tree. So I was like, alright, here's a little bit of lore. I need.
Did you have to read the comic? Or was this like, did someone tell you, hey, this guy turns into a tree, or did you?
So my boss at the time, he was the keeper of all knowledge Star Wars. He knew everything, so he told me about it.
That's amazing.
Yeah, he knows like literally everything about Star Wars, which made him a really good creative director for that game. So my lead, he was saying we need more exploration in this world, right? Because it's open world map, people want to explore more. So I was like, all right, I'll make a hidden quest that shows off some of that lore, tells the story in a linear way. So I made a little temple around where the tree would be, because we didn't have him on the map either. So like, all right, we gotta put this tree here. We gotta make some cool exploration thing around him. That was the goal. So, something that's encourages you to be exploring while telling the story. And those are the things that made it cool. You never do things just because it's cool. You do things that achieve a goal, and those things end up being cool. Don't die to this thing again.
But now back where I was.
Yeah.
With slightly more health. Crap.
So I basically, where the tree was, I put, and I worked closely with art on this because you need art help for everything. So I worked closely with art to make a wall that had 5 runes on it, and throughout the entire map, I placed those 5 runes as interactables, and players had to look at the wall to figure out the order. You have to click each rune in, and if you messed up the order, it would start. This is a hidden quest, so there's no like text, no nothing telling you like how this is going. Basically, they would wander this room, see this tree, see the runes, go out the world, figure it out, and then when you go back after you click all 5, you would go back to that room that had the tree, and you were told this. You would just have to go explore and figure this out. Go back to the rooms.
Do you have telemetry data to figure out how many people actually did?
Yeah, actually, there was data, and a lot of people did it. Because the key to good quest design is also good rewards.
Mm. What was the reward for it?
It was a cosmetic. Cosmetics are the best rewards, by the way.
Yeah. Best rewards in terms of player motivation?
Yep. Better. They're better than chasing power.
Ah.
Because cosmetics, players will always want. Power, once you hit the level cap, power cap, players will stop wanting it.
That is such good information, because I'm very vain, but I don't assume other people are.
Oh yeah, no, all gamers are. People are in general,
That's really
right?
good.
It's one thing to be good, but you also have to look good.
It's true.
Can't be good if you don't look good.
Finger guns. Yep, that's how I look good. Where am I going?
So, I'll take, we'll use Destiny 1 for example. And Destiny 2.
So I noticed on Discord, if I may be so bold, you play a lot of Destiny.
Yeah, I do. That's my go-to like MMO-esque game.
Oh, for sure. We all have the one we go to de-stress. Mine is the Winkelkelt game. It's a Dutch indie game where you basically manage a Costco. To each their own. What's your favorite design that happened by accident?
Like of a game I worked on, or of any game?
Of a game you worked on, preferably. If you ever had that moment of trauma of this isn't working, and then you just came up with this ingenious solution.
Or you did something by mistake, and you're like, hey, this is actually working.
Right? Okay, I think we probably need
Yeah, I've had a few moments, a few Bob Ross happy accident moments.
Yes, that's what we should call them. Bob Ross happy accident moments. I love that. I love that so much.
That's what we call them at work at BioWare. We're like, oh no, this is
that's so
happy
cute.
accidents.
I love that. Happy accident moments. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So walk me through a happy accident moment.
Yeah, let me think for a second.
Okay. We can come back to that.
No, actually, I have one. I don't know if any of the your viewers right now are familiar with SWTOR, but there is a dungeon I worked on called Capero, or Trader Among the Fists. And I was making an ability for a droid there that was firing missiles in the air and landed on you. But I didn't set a target, so it would fire missiles in the air and land at the origin map, which was like miles away. Well, like, oh, I didn't realize missiles could go that far. And we didn't use it there, but I kept that in the back of my head. I was like, okay, so you can fire missiles across the map. And then the latest dungeon I worked on before I left, Objective Meridian, I was shelling the crap out of players as they were running up the breach, because I remember that thing that I came across by mistake. And even my other designers were like, we didn't know this either. This could be interesting and useful for, future purposes. Let's keep this in mind. Because Objective Meridian was supposed to be like the beginning was supposed to be like D-Day, Omaha Beach, that kind of run up the beach and get wrecked.
Oh, nice. Which sounds like it would appeal to you. That seems like your style of gameplay.
Yeah.
Get wrecked.
So for that map, we used that happy accident we found before to help push that feeling of you're on like Omaha Beach, getting the crap shelled out of you.
That's awesome. So how much do engineers and designers work together?
Very closely, because engineers tell you what you can and can't do. The technical limitations are usually pretty hard because, either your engine can do it or they don't. But also, if you ever need like new features and stuff, they need to know exactly what the goal is.
Do you? I guess the same goes with artists. We talked a little bit about how you would approach artists and say, "Hey, can I do this?"
Yeah.
Do you have the bandwidth to do this? Rather, would you say that that's kind of the extent, the nuts and bolts, the meat of your interactions with artists?
No, interactions with artists come they're very down to the detail. Like good concept artists I've worked with in the past, while I'm designing a boss, we'll be talking the whole process. Of like, hey, I'm thinking about
that's so cool.
These gameplay things for this boss, and then they're like, okay, then it should look like this, right? Because they need to know the functionality of the boss in order to make it look function.
Determines the character design for sure.
Vice versa, they're like, oh, this shape language will work very well for this kind of personality. I'm like, okay, I can make some mechanics that fit that. So there's definitely back and forth. And then same with like level designers and environment artists. You have to talk to them closely. So to make sure the art doesn't interfere with the gameplay, make sure your gameplay is giving art enough room to do interesting things, right? Like if you just have a flat level the whole time, it's gonna be pretty aesthetically boring. So it's very, very close creative process with the art team. And I would say the same with the engineering team, because if you're asking for new tech, they need to know, what is this enemy doing? Like, well, I need this person to run down the line and just fire fireballs that bounce towards you. They need to know exactly what's happening. That way they can make the proper tech and tools for that. For your gameplay engineers, at least.
That's awesome. So designers are kind of at the core of everything, which is why I feel really good that EAE teaches everyone design concepts, because you kind of do all have to talk to each other, huh?
Yeah, and they all, like, as a producer, as an engineer, as an artist, you do have to know some design concepts, like you said. And vice versa, like, designers should know a little bit about engineering, a little bit about art. Everyone should know a little bit about what each other's doing, that way you can kind of communicate better.
For sure. I think for me it comes down to feeling like you're speaking the same language.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
right.
Man, My palms are actually starting to get sweaty from that one. That one's super good. That's super awesome.
You start
Okay.
to look forward, as you get further in the game, you start to look forward to those moments. You see one of those things, you're like, yes. I'm about to murder a bunch of demons. Let's go.
That's awesome. Okay, so looking back, what's one thing you did in school, at work, or in personal time that furthered your career in games?
One thing that helped a lot as a designer was to study other forms of design. Like, I went and took an elective in architecture, and that helped a lot with level design, because level design is basically digital architecture. You're building spaces for people and things to use.
Oh, for sure.
I was reading a lot of books on industrial design and product design. Those all help just like with design thinking and design process. So those are the things that help me the most, I think. Studying architecture, studying product design.
So have you ever read The Design of Everyday Things?
Oh yeah, I have it right here actually. That book is.
That's awesome.
Yep, here's my copy.
Yeah, with the teapot. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's amazing.
Every designer should read this book religiously.
I love it. I love it so much. Okay, so oh yeah.
Oh yeah, so it's basically just studying because game design is still pretty new compared to these. Architecture's been around for a while. Industrial design's been around not as long as architecture, but longer than games. So there's definitely knowledge we can take from there.
Okay, so this is. Oh, alright, crap. Yeah, I don't think this game counts as a horror game, right? That wasn't very scary. I want to end on a high note while I'm shooting some demons. We hear a lot of negative things about the games industry. Not that people shouldn't be critical, right? But we hear a lot about crunch. We hear a lot about burnout and all these things. But I don't know that we hear a lot about the positives and like the really nice stuff that you weren't expecting. So when the students asked for something that pleasantly surprised you working in games, that you were not expecting to either you expected it to be worse and end up being better than expected, or some like an added perk that you hadn't anticipated that came out of working in games, but a happy surprise, something nice that happened.
I mean, I haven't worked in any other industry, so it's hard to compare, but like some of my best friends I've met through working, almost all my best friends I've met through working through games.
Aw, so
Some
nice.
lifelong friendships and stuff. So like you can really get to, it's a team project, right? Because you're always communicating, because you're always, working very closely together, you end up making really good friends with people.
Game developers be like that.
Yeah, it's a tight community, and people, and and it's like it's a little harder because when you're outside the industry, it's harder to see it. But like when you're in it, it's an industry that really helps each other out a lot.
Amen. Yes.
Like with GDC being canceled, you saw all the people, all the companies rallying together to try to help those that either lost a lot of money or needed something out, something else from it.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, and I think it shows how much, a student asked me today, like, how do you have all these people that come onto your Twitch channel? And it's because game developers are extremely generous with their time and extremely easy to work with. And I just hit you up like over the weekend and said, hey, because GDC was canceled, had to make this quick change. Like, do you want to co-stream? And you were like, yeah, sure. And you helped me out massively, and I'm super, super grateful for that. But that's maybe the thing, to echo your point, I totally agree. I think game developers are extremely generous with their time and extremely generous, nice, kind people.
Also,
So,
it's a small industry. Everyone knows each other.
oh, for sure. Well, Jackie, on that note, you've been so incredibly generous with your time. I am so very, very, very grateful that you joined me, and I'm so grateful that you introduced me to this game, because I get it. I can totally see the appeal. So you have a Twitch. Are you going to stream? Do you stream? Do you stream regularly?
I used to. I haven't yet. Now that I'm moved into a new house and I have the space, maybe soon.
You totally should.
If I do, the updates will be on my Twitter, which I use frequently. So if people want to contact me on there, or
Can you put your Twitter in chat?
Yeah, I can do that.
So you're happy for students to contact you with further questions about breaking into the industry or general game design stuff?
So that's my Twitter right there, JCon91. Yeah, any questions, people are welcome to hit me up on Twitter. My DMs are open, or just tweet at me.
Oh, that's awesome. So at JCAO91, thank you for being so generous with your time and being willing for people to contact you through Twitter. It means a lot to the students. It means a lot to me. Anything else you want to plug? Do you have a blog, YouTube channel?
No, I don't have much time for that, unfortunately.
You know
But
what?
if you want to play the stuff I worked on Star Wars: Old Republic, and unannounced things from Gearbox, so be on the lookout for that soon.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, thanks for having me on here. It's been a blast.
Yeah, you're more than welcome. Anytime you want to come back on, and we'll do it again. We'll play either this game or a different game, wherever you want to do. But it was super
All right.
exciting having you.